that Denise Rozier sang for us, "You Are the Light." Let's take those thoughts into our meditation. So if you would, just as we usually do, just begin to seal your body, settle into your chair or wherever you're supporting us. If you're on Facebook Live, thank you, and just begin to rest for a few moments. And we focus on the breath. Take a deep inhale and then exhale. And as you do, begin to feel your body just settle in and relax. Another deep breath in, and then just relax. In these times of this, meditation teachers teach us to acknowledge that we have a body, but you're choosing right now to keep it still, stay still, and be. Nothing to do, nowhere to go in this moment, to just be. Another deep breath in, and as you exhale this time, just scan your body for any place that you might be holding tension. Check your shoulders. Just let them drop. Let your arms hang. Let your hands rest on your thighs or in your lap. Relax your face. We hold a lot of tension and anxiety in our face. Just relax your forehead. Can you breathe into that and feel it relax? And unhinge your jaw, because we clench our jaw so often and hold tension and stress in there. We create the stress sometimes because of the way we hold it. So just release and relax. And breathe. Breathe in that awareness that you are the light. Breathe in that awareness. You are the light. Breathe in that awareness that you are the light. All spiritual teachers have conveyed that to us in many ways, that you are the light. Each of us has that light, Christ light, the Buddha nature, whatever we choose to call that light. It is the spark of the divinity that is you. You are the light. Breathe that deeply into your being, into your whole being. And as we've rested the body, we quiet the mind. Just let the thoughts drift by. No judgment, no concern, just let them drift by. And breathe. And if you find yourself attached to a thought during the meditation, just release, let go, and come back to the breath. And you may even try holding this as a mantra in your meditation. You are the light. I am the light. I am the light. I am the light. Our teacher and way shower Jesus told us, I am the light of the world. And he wasn't referring to himself only, he was referring to each of us. I am the light. I am the light of God, expressing and manifesting in me, as me, and through me. It is not I, but the Father within. And Father just means the upper consciousness. Your consciousness. It is not I, but the Father within that does the work, that becomes the light. So hold that in your thoughts, in your awareness. As you continue to breathe just normally and rhythmically, settle in even deeper. Find that place in you where you intuitively know and have always known that you are in there. You with a capital U, capital Y-O-U. You are in there. You are the light. You are the light. You are the light. In the silence. In the silence. In the silence. So very gently, very, very gently, take a deep breath in. And for another moment, just hold that awareness as you breathe in and exhale. I am the light. A perfect mantra for throughout your day. Anytime you can take a mindful moment and just remind yourself you are the light. The light of God expressing through you as you. You are the light. Another deep breath in, and very gently, very, very slowly begin to move your body. You might roll your shoulders, move your head from side to side. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Well, good morning again. In case I didn't say it, I'm Rev Ron Holdaway. Glad to be here with you this morning. It's always good. And yeah, Bill is right. We'll get to do this for a few more weeks. But as I've been thinking about this, we could do this for a year on this book, and his other couple books. It would be easy to have a year long. We're not going to do that, but we'd probably get tired of it if we did that. But this is a lifetime of practice. These lessons and teachings that Michael Singer is doing here, Living Untethered, is a lifetime. It's an approach, a philosophy, a way of being. And so I hope you'll get into it. I mean, and you know, there's other teachers, there's other ways of doing it. And what I get so excited about is even this lesson today, it flows right in with our 5 principles. It flows right in with Charles Fillmore's teachings. Charles Fillmore would be jumping up and down. He'd be saying, I fairly zizzle with zeal and enthusiasm to do the things that ought to be done by me now. So he would be right here with us, I know that. So that's a pretty cool thing. So you remember last week we talked about conscious awareness. That awareness that we are aware of what's going on in our life. We're aware of that and what comes to us. And it's how our life, oops, sorry about that. It's how every one of us are exposed to the outer world, to the objects of our consciousness, the outer world, the thoughts, and the mind. You remember those 3 things, the outer world, our thoughts, and emotions. So where do these come from? That's the nature of the book. Where do these come from? That's the study of the book. And that's what we'll learn over the next few weeks. And by understanding these, they lose, as Bill also said, they lose some of the distractive power that they have over us. So what is the nature of the world passing in front of you right now? Moments passing before you like frames on a motion picture in your mind. So you remember last week I asked you, I said, where do you see me? Where do you see me? And several of you pointed to your eyes. It was a kind of a trick question. You pointed to your eyes. That's not where you see me. You see me in your mind. The eyes are a receiver to get this outer world into your mind, and that's where you see me. The images are projected in your mind, and you see me in your mind. Now, you see me up here in front of you, but people on Facebook, where do you see me? Steve, where do you see me? He sees me on his computer through a software program called vMix that's a live stream probe software. He's seeing me through that, through the computer. He's, you know, he might look up and poke up and go like this every once in a while, but he's looking on that computer screen to be sure the live stream is going out. So it's relative. The perspective is relative. I've used this example with you many times. If you look at my hand, it looks solid, but it's not from the perspective we know now through quantum teaching, quantum physics. If you go in, drill in deeper with a way to go in deeper, it's mostly space. It's mostly nothing. There's power in the nothing. There's creation in the nothing. So these teachings are all about for us to change the way we think that we see the world. For all of us, it's common to have this projection of what's on the outside coming to us. And we said last week, we're not our body, we're not our thoughts, we're not our emotion, we're not those things. We're the observer of those things, of those objects. We are the observer, the you that is you. And again, that's where we're headed to figure all this out. That's what we're going to do, is figure out who that you is. But just as a reality check to that, do you ever wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and think, that can't be accurate? That can't be right. So yeah, I know we all do that. I do that. So just look at yourself in the mirror every morning and say, there I am, but who is that? Who is that looking in the mirror? Who is that you that's looking in the mirror and saying, that can't be right? So also remember, the reason for doing this, and the reason Michael Singer wrote this book, is to discover a path toward inner freedom. You are in there. You are in there. You've always known that you're in there. I say frequently that, find that place where you're there. You intuitively know. But unfortunately, we get too lost in the objects of consciousness, our outside world, the thoughts and emotions. I've been taking a 2-year class with Martha Creek and some others on letting go by Dr. David Hawkins. It's not easy. It's not easy to let go of this stuff. And so it parallels. I love parallel teachings, and these teachings that Michael Singer's got going is exactly what psychologists and psychiatrists are teaching us to let go. And I'll tell you more about that. So Singer says spiritual awakening is about untangling the consciousness, our consciousness, from objects of consciousness. The objects that we bring in, either we bring in the outside world and even our thoughts. It's letting go, untangling that. So again, this week we're letting at the outside world to let go. In other words, the moment in front of you. So do you agree with this statement? You are inundated each day with an unending stream of sights and sounds and tastes and smells and touches. Inundated with those. You remember a couple weeks ago or a few weeks ago I told you that researchers now say that we have 60,000 thoughts a day. 60,000 a day. And some 90% of them, and they've done this with the neuroscience, how they put electrodes and wire everybody up. They think that 90% of those are repetitive, and some 50,000 of those, or some large percentage, are negative thoughts. So to understand the you in there, the conscious being living within, we need to look at the outside world, which makes up a big part of our lives. So what is actually out there? Where did it come from, and what's your relationship to it? So here we go. Listen to this statement, see if you, and don't disagree until you hear me say the whole thing. The moment in front of you right now has absolutely nothing to do with you. Now wait, hear it again. The moment in front of you has absolutely nothing to do with you. Think about that question I just asked. Where do you see me? Where do you see me? The moment in front of you. We've already answered that question. It's different for each person. It's like you've heard eyewitness accounts of a traffic accident or any kind of crime. It's not very reliable, because if you have 4 or 5 people seeing a traffic accident, they'll see different things. It won't. You would think it wouldn't even be the same accident sometimes. It's what's been reported. So now look to your left. That's your left. Look to your right, just for a moment, and look what you see. Look there. So the moment in front of you changed. The moment right then is changed in front of you. Just another moment. The moment in front of you is just another moment, like all the numerous moments happening in the world and even in the universe. And they have nothing to do with you. This is Michael Singer stresses this. And it's complete. He goes even further. It's completely impersonal. Now, if you react to that inside, if you react to that, it's because of the way we habitually think. We habitually think that what I'm here for is to get my way. So it's personal. Everything that happens in front of me is for me to be here to get my way. What he says is the world, the outside world, is not personal. And I'll tell you, we're going to talk about that, and you'll see why. So can you agree right now that what's happening on Mars and Jupiter have nothing to do with us? Mars and Jupiter, and that's a way far-fetched example, but 99.9999% of the universe has nothing to do with you or us. But somehow we think the 0.00001% has something to do with us, and it can tangle up our lives. Billions of people are not looking at the moment in front of you right now because they don't have a problem with it, the moment that you're looking at, and whether that's whatever it is, car driving by in traffic that you don't like, they're not acting the right way in traffic. They should do what you want them to do, not what they're doing. Many examples. Your spouse or friend should load the dishwasher exactly how you load it. And if you don't, that's personal. You're going to take that personal and mess up your day. It's nothing is personal. So here's another quote by Singer. One of the most amazing things you will ever realize is that the moment in front of you is not bothering you. It's not bothering you. You are bothering yourself about the moment in front of you. It isn't personal. You make it personal. Another reality check. Just once, how many times you get upset about this? Just once, I want a username and password prompt to say, close enough. It's not personal. Relationship to the countless objects, going through our lives, all these objects. Oh, you are the subject. You are the subject. They are the objects. You get to choose. Our third principle. You get to choose how you think about it, how you react, and all the way through. You pray about it and then act on it. It's exactly what we teach in the Unity with our principles. So in his book, if you're reading the book and following along with it, he tells about the Fisherman's Wharf story. How many of you been to Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco? Beautiful place, absolutely gorgeous place. And so people go there, tourists go there, and they have in their mind what they want to see when they go there. So he's got an example of that. It talks about seeing the whales out in the bay, and if they don't see a bay, see the whales, their whole life for the moment is messed up. Well, I thought rather than talk about the Fisherman's Wharf story, imagine my grandkids and granddaughters and grandsons go to Shell Island. Imagine you taking a trip to Shell Island, and you look at the boat, and you're looking at the waves, and the sun's bright. Maybe you didn't get the boat that you wanted, or you're renting a boat and you didn't want that one, or you had to go on a friend's boat because yours had broken, and you wanted to see dolphins, but you don't see any that day. You don't see any. So again, because of what you're looking at, the way what's in front of you, it changes, you make it personal. That guy rented me the wrong boat because he didn't like me, or whatever reason goes through our minds. But let's say the preference was to go to Shell Island to walk on the sand and pick up shells. And somebody got to do it. My grandkids did that not too long ago. They had a perfect trip to Shell Island. They weren't looking for the dolphins or didn't care what kind of boat they had. It was sunny and they were picking up shells. The moments are not personal. We didn't make it happen. None of it's personal. So where did all this come from? What made it? Why is it here? So scientists tell us that we're looking at blending objects of sense and taste and sight and hearing. We're blending those together to see what we're actually to see up here, not in here. So, for example, we talked last week about the example of what we see with our eyes with the spectrum of light, the electromagnetic spectrum of light. Remember the ROYGBIV acronym for red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. These are the colors of the visible light spectrum. And the objects that we look at, when I look at your shirts and what you're pretty, by the way, it looks pretty good too from up here. When the light hits it, the color is reflected back into your eye, and that's what you see. The objects themselves have no color. It's a reflection or absorption of light based on the frequency and the wavelength of the spectrum of light. It's another way of habitually seeing the objects in front of us. And that's what we do. Michael Singer talks a lot about the periodic table. So I hadn't looked at that in a while, but being an engineer by training first, I've got several books on chemistry. My son's a chemie, so we talk about chemistry sometimes. He's way out. You think I'm a geek for that kind of stuff. He's way out there. But there's 118 types of atoms in the known universe. 92 of them occurring naturally on Earth. This is the makeup of the periodic table, if you remember that from high school chemistry or college chemistry. What's in front of you is simply an accumulation of a massive amount of atoms being pulled together by the laws of nature, the way the atoms spin around and gravity. This is all science. It's nothing personal. It's not personal. When I look at that chair, it's not, there's nothing there. What's happening in your daily life, in your consciousness, looking at the electrons and neutrons and protons being pulled to form atoms and molecules to create these objects in our consciousness. So scientists agree on the basic model, and this is where they came from, on the 13.8 billion years ago, a giant explosion called the Big Bang, and pretty accepted practice of creation theory, if you will, of the universe. But all of that mass, all of the matter of the universe existed in a space smaller than a single atom. So after the Big Bang, obviously when that came out, there was enough energy to release that mass. And it was so hot it didn't have any shape or form. Unbridled radiation for hundreds of thousands of years. So no elements that we knew of at the time, because it was so hot, could be formed during that period. It's a crazy theory, isn't it? Well, the Big Bang Theory, you ever watch that show on TV? Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state. Then nearly 14 billion years ago, expansion started. The Earth began to cool. The autotrophs began to drool. The Neanderthals developed tools. We built a wall. We built the pyramids. Math, science, history, unraveling the mysteries. That all started with the Big Bang. So that TV show brought all that home to a lot of people, even though they sing it so fast. The Bare Naked Ladies wrote and sang that song. So, but wait just a minute. Have you heard about the findings of what the JWST, the James Webb Space Telescope, is telling us now? So they're telling us there's 6 galaxies as large, if not larger, than the Milky Way. Did we lose something? Oh.
They just told me there's a bug. Donald to the rescue. Got it. It was nothing personal. Nothing personal.
Exactly, Dottie. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's not personal. The bug's not personal. Not personal.
My hero. I'm one of us. It was going to be personal.
I know. You got to see my grandkids talking about dealing with the bugs. We're all over that. So there's 6 galaxies that they found from the deep space, from all the exploration from the James Webb Space Telescope. They found 6 of the earliest, most massive galaxies that the telescope has been able to see so far. And guess what? Based on the current model of creation, the creation of the universe, they shouldn't be there. They aren't mature enough. They're too big. There should not be. They say they're estimated at 750 million years after the Big Bang. You know, all the other planets and galaxies in the universe took a lot longer to create than that. And these 6 galaxies vary somewhere between 100 to, or 10 to 100 times larger than we've seen in that era. 30, they think it's 30 times. Some of them are 30 times larger than the Milky Way. So to me, this new data doesn't change what we already know. It refines and puts a little oomph on the creation model. I think it will even enhance our understanding of the universe, which is what we're trying to do. So it doesn't. It's the same as Einstein's theory of relativity. It wasn't accepted for lots of years. They didn't accept it, and now it's commonplace. Same thing with the Darwin theory of evolution. There's been some cracks in some of it, and yet it stands. And I think that's what this will do too about the Big Bang Theory. So a little bit more about why this outside world, what it is. 380,000 years after the Big Bang, the universe was without form. It was so hot and moving so fast, the expansion was happening at the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles per second. And the electromagnetism to pull the subatomic particles begin to happen. And the first atoms from that were hydrogen. It's the simplest element on our planet in the universe. One electron, one proton. So as these hydrogen atoms form masses, they begin to collide, and these clouds, this huge cloud, plasma, what even matter? It was plasma, begin to thin. And read this from I was reading this from the book of Genesis 1:2. In the beginning, the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And then amazingly, after a period of time, the hydrogen fusion kept going. It was nuclear fusion happened just, for millions of years. And then all of a sudden, a proton was able to get out through all that dense cloud, and then there was light. Let there be light, and there was light. Genesis 1:3. An amazing parallel to what scientists today think happened. So this is the beginning, though, when this happened, this nuclear fusion is the beginning of what? It's the beginning of the birth of stars. And every star you look at today was born through this process of hydrogen fusion, and it's still going on. There's still stars still being created, particularly in Orion and Horseshoe nurseries in the nebula. These two nebula are nurseries for stars. Stars are born and stars die. Our sun, though, don't worry about our sun. It has enough hydrogen to last another 5 billion years. So every time this death cycle of a star occurs, more and more elements on the periodic table are created. The cycle continues until element 26, and Singer talks about this a lot, and you'll understand why in a minute. That's when the iron core can't fuse it. There's not enough heat to fuse a reaction with the iron in the core of the planet. So the star dies, and when it dies, it becomes one of several things, including a black hole. So all of these elements, the reason he goes into a lot of this, and it seems like sticking your finger in your eye to study this at our age, but it's what we are. It's what we see. It's what's in the outside world and how it was created. It's amazing. The makeup of our body comes from the elements as a byproduct of the stars. Carl Sagan used to always say we're stardust. Well, more than that, the human body is made up of 6 elements: oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, and phosphorus. And that came from the stars. The stars are where it's created. So now, if somebody asks, don't these scientific facts change your belief that God is the creator of the universe? Singer says, no, of course not. The facts and understanding merely shows how God created all the structures in the universe. It doesn't defeat it, and that's what I always say is, we have to have a science-conscious religion. The days of not understanding some of this to know who and what we are, we can't live like that. And some of us, unfortunately, some of our brothers and sisters, even in my family, still are. The stars are the furnaces that were used to create the universe. Every single atom we interact today was created in the stars. The heavier elements above the 26 on the periodic table were created when these star dies, and it creates a super red giant, it's called. All these elements that are heavier than element 26 on the periodic table were created, and that's what we see. So again, every part of your body, every cell in your body is composed of elements created in the stars billions of years ago. Isn't that amazing? However, it does not explain you. It does not explain the you in you and the you in within you. We'll get to that later. You are made up of atoms, and you are the consciousness that is aware of these objects that are made of atoms. So science has discovered what reality should give us more respect for it, not less. What's in front of you, not just because you're looking at me, but your world, your outside world, what's in front of you is a holy, holy thing. Look at it all to get it here. It's pretty silly to think it took 13.8 billion years for a moment that's in front of you to happen, and everything that had to happen to put that moment in front of you exactly as it did, but then you say, I don't like it. That's funny, isn't it? It's like saying, I don't like it that Saturn has rings around it. It has nothing to do with you. It is the result of trillions of actors, of actions and actors that caused it to be this way. What is surrender and acceptance? You don't surrender to the outside world. You totally accept it. What you surrender to is your personal made-up judgment about it. Every single thing is that way in your life. It has nothing to do with you. Now, we'll go deeper with this. This is intentionally leaving you in this place to ponder this. Surrender is letting go of the part of you that is not living the truth, not seeing the reality of what life is. That is true surrender. Again, the moment in front of you is a holy thing. Quantum physicists are exploring how the entire universe is emanating from an omnipresent, undifferentiated energy field, the quantum field. They are showing us, the scientists are showing us, everything is made of light. The quantum field, it's light. We all think we have very good reasons to complain. The intention of this journey as we are on is not to take away those reasons, is to take away those reasons whatever they are. So the moment in front of you is a gift from creation. It's a gift. We don't live our lives in a constant sense of wonder and awe and appreciation. We just don't. That's why discussions about cosmology and quantum physics are spiritual. We don't do that daily, but he's making a point to remind yourself that what's in front of you every day, every minute, is holy. People make a big deal out of science and God as if the two are at odds with each other. The real problem, Michael Singer says, is that people don't believe in either. For example, a seed falls on the ground and it has a built-in chemist that knows exactly what mix of dirt and water and sunlight, and combine those chemicals to make a corn stalk or a tree or grass or whatever. And so we're taught that this intelligent chemist, it turns into intelligent DNA. So just an example of the amazing world that is so perfect. It is so perfect. It should constantly blow our minds. Constantly blow our minds. Bill and I were talking about that this morning. The new religion is going to be the climate, the planet. We're pretty sure. But we're so lost in making it all personal that we miss both the greatness of science and the greatness of God. We should have more respect and appreciation for the nature of our outside world. So we use the term mindfulness to express this, to always mean you're conscious of what is really going on around you. You're not just conscious of the appearance, but you're also conscious of the true nature. Mindfulness is a natural, effortless process to let go of personal distractions, to get you back to source, to remember source. So now I love this. He had this in the book. Again, how many times have we said this here? From now on, everywhere you look and everything you interact with, be sure to say, thank you. Thank you. Pay tribute to the stars. They're not just romantic twinkling lights up in the sky. The stars are furnaces of the universe, and it's still going on. They created everything for you. Can you thank them when you look up in the night sky? Can you appreciate this truth and understand that you didn't do anything? This will make you think you didn't do anything to deserve the trees, the oceans, and the sky. You don't even know who or where you came from. You're just experiencing this amazing gift unfolding before you. This is spirituality, coming into harmony with reality instead of your personal self. So, in closing, surrender is very subtle. It's not about renunciation. It's not about surrendering the world or surrendering your career or your life or your retirement, unless you want to, or surrendering your family. It's not about that. It's about surrendering. It's not about surrendering to somebody. It's about coming back to a place of absolute truth. It's about coming back to source. But in order to do that, you have to let go of falsehood. You have to let go of what has not been true. That is actually what surrender is. It is the act of letting go what is not true. That's surrender. So next week, so that's an object of consciousness, the outside world. Next week we'll talk about the mind, the empty mind, the birth of the personal mind, fall of the garden, the veil of the psyche, and the brilliant human mind. You think this blew your mind? Wait till next week. Namaste. What are y'all doing? Are you cutting up again?
We waited.
Yeah. Last week after the service, I told them that we're not letting those two sit together anymore. So. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I watched them from the back join up here. So, okay, let's join hands and form a circle. Do it first. Let's form a circle and then join hands.